Hey Raiders, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, I'm going over the transit cheese exploit in Tarkov and why it is so detrimental to the game. I know the people coming over from X are going to love this one. This is going to be a discussion post. Let's get straight into this. Let's go over what a transit cheese exploit actually is in Tarkov and what it looks like. Okay, Raiders, so basically you can go to any transit zone in Tarkov and turn it into a functioning extract. So you think D2, think Red Rebel, think any normal functioning extract. If you wait out the timer like so, wait for the black screen, and then Alt F4 when the audio cuts out and you wait a couple of seconds, then you can extract like you've basically done a normal raid, minus the XP, which I'll mention later. Why this is a bad thing, part 1, player interaction frequency. On this note, I have a full raid at the end of the video which perfectly personifies this very example. So you're telling me that adding at least maybe, let's say, an extra 2 extracts on every map, maybe apart from factory, that players using these as extracts is going to result in more player interaction. And let's define player interaction really quickly. Player interaction is players making sounds around the map, shooting stuff, VoIP if you want to include VoIP because people misinterpret that on X. Just basically anything to do with players on the map is player interaction. Opening doors, letting off grenades, shooting raiders in reserve, whatever the case may be. And somebody is going to sit there and say to me, if someone uses the transit exploit, that has absolutely no impact on my player interaction. Whereas if they were to have a 2v1 off spawn, let's pretend we're at the interchange next to the streets of Tarkov transit. There's been a big fight at the big idea sign. Like, there's mega loot everywhere. Instead of risking it going up to the, vehicle extract at power station or going to, I think Emacom would be the extract right there. Instead of navigating through the map, like having all of that immersion, the risk to reward, they're going to be like, nah, I'm just going to get out and reset real quick and do whatever I came in to do next raid. Like, hello? How is that not, like, losing out on player interaction? How is that not losing out on the pure Tarkov experience? Guys, have some integrity. Have some intellectual honesty. Like, come on. What am I arguing with on Twitter, which I'm farming the interaction off you guys, like, thank you for that, by the way. But still, like, how is anyone arguing against that? That's just common sense, guys. And on that note, if you want Tarkov to have more extractions per map or an easier Tarkov experience, that's a completely separate issue than debating whether or not an exploit 1 exists and 2 has a negative impact on the game. I've literally just shown how that can have a negative impact on the game because that's not how the game is designed, right? And I just want to say the negative impact is robbing a potential player or yourself of more loot within that specific scenario that I laid down, just in case anyone was going to get confused there. And by that I mean most Tarkov maps are designed that you go from one side of the map and extract on the other side of the map, and they have already included extra exits such as red rebels and flares. Like, I don't understand how people can genuinely think against this, right? Like, come on. This is the shit we mean about in Discord and stuff, man. And let's not forget that Tarkov today is Tarkov today because it's Tarkov. Now, what I mean by that is it's meant to be gritty, it's meant to be hard, it's meant to be difficult, you're meant to go against the odds, and you're meant to have these incredible experiences where you just feel like you've won the lottery and you've gone against all the odds and you came out on top. It just feels a bit cheesy and a bit disingenuous to, like, take the exit. And I get it, like, if you use it from a convenience standpoint, you're going to die because you've got no hydration or you got no energy. Like, guys, I get it. I've used it myself. I'm not preaching to the choir here, right? Even though I meme a bit on my X account. Still, like, come on. You can see the light here. You can see what I'm laying down.
But Josh, this is a feature. This is how we're meant to use it.
Well, the simple answer to that is no, this clearly isn't how it was designed. Transit literally means, and how it's implemented is to go from point A to point B, not to go from point A, Alt F4, exploit it, and then go to point D. Like, come on, guys. Like, it's even clearly intentional where they want you to go. Transit from reserve to customs. You're meant to go from reserve to customs. You aren't meant to go from reserve to streets. Come on. Be honest with yourself. That point is debunked. Next, we're going over losing all of your loot and XP via the transit system. People love to preach that if the transit actually crashes between point A and point B, then you should retain all of your stuff, but it's okay because we lose the XP, despite that being the only reason why people transit in the first place, right? This point only holds ground if people are genuinely using the transit system as it's intended. However, most people are not and just initiating the transit and then forcefully quitting the game, aka engaging in the exploit. Like, hello. And I think I have the perfect fix for this. And I know not everybody is a developer. I have no idea how work intensive this might be. I don't know if it's just held all together by string. And certainly I'm willing to bet that you don't know listening to this either, because everyone on X is a freaking software developer, right? However, how come you get to retain your gear, but at the same time where the game saves your gear, it can't log you as going from X to X? So let's pretend everyone uses the transit how it's meant to be used, right? Going from point A to point B, stack your multipliers for your experience, which is awesome and great, fantastic. We love that. How come when it saves your loadout, ready to be put in your stash when you load back in normally from your crash, or like you boot Tarkov back up, that you just can't maintain a queue status? Like, okay, you've extracted from here, this is your save state, however, you've gone from customs and you are going to reserve, you are now going to be re-queued, fixing this crash malarkey into a customs queue, right? Like, how does that not work? How is that not a fix? Now, is it possible? I'm pretty sure it's possible. They've made, like, what is it, an extra 1 million sales off of the Steam release, off of the 1.0 release. I'm pretty sure they could afford it, right? And I think it'd be massively worthwhile to do so, right? So to quickly summarize, basically, if you was to engage in this exploit, you are forced into a queue wherever you're transiting from. So in this instance, if you're exploiting from reserve to customs, even if you pull the exploit off, you are then forced into a customs queue. And then if you don't want to engage in that customs queue, you can disconnect like you can do when you reconnect to a normal raid anyway. So it says, you know, re-queue or disconnect and lose everything, because that's kind of like how it should be. Let's be honest. Come on, irrefutable.
Only exit campers want this patched out. Wah!
Raiders, I can tell you, I'm in rooms that people still do not check to this day. Shout out to the reserve weekend that we just hit with our grenade guide as well. And there's a few key areas where this argument hasn't actually been thought through all the way. One being that Tarkov, or BSG rather, have actually added more exits as time has gone on. And plus, you're going to get exit camps no matter where you are anyway, right? So even if the transit cheeses become, you know, widely known, everybody knows about them, because, you know, I bet some Steam players don't know about them, despite almost every content creator, including myself, as mentioned in this video, using the transit cheese and showing it off. That's not going to stop somebody with the mindset of just ruining your day. do you get what I'm saying? And another key point where this falls flat on its arse is the fact that I haven't mentioned exit camping at all in my other examples on X or within this video, i.e. the interchange and streets of Tarkov example. And the key point there is that, going back to it, you're robbed of player interaction. Like, you get all this loot, the raid intensifies, that's what Tarkov is, that's what the soul of the game is, and you're going through and you're just circumventing that by being disingenuous, in my opinion. And again, I have used it, yes, I fall under that category, yes. And it's just a super weak argument to make, because a claim made without evidence can also be denied without evidence. So on to the next point.
If they haven't fixed it by now, they're not going to fix it ever.
How do you even quantify the amount of time needed to pass to warrant something not being fixed? My argument to this is that they could just not know how detrimental it is, and they haven't viewed it from a design point yet. This might be their opportunity to do so. There you go. That's for this section, to be honest. Like, that's it.
Actually, they shouldn't be fixing this right now, because there's other things they could fix.
Yeah, well, no shit, we're playing Tarkov, guys. I'm pretty sure there is other issues present that need to be fixed, and I just see this as one of the many issues that they need to work on. That's about it. Now, if anybody wants to make me a list in the comments ranging from most pressing to least pressing of the bugs and the issues and the fixes they could make, please feel free. I'll give you a rating. Now for the conclusion. Finally, we've made it, and if you've made it to the end as well, take a chill pill, relax, we're cool. I'd just like to re-emphasize that this is coming from passion about the game. I would not want players robbing themselves of the both, you know, of the highs and lows that Tarkov has to offer by circumventing half of the gameplay, by potentially traversing dangerous areas, going through dark and eerie places on the map, even if you know them. You know, you can get so good at this game to where you know, how can I say that, you should know which door should be open at what part of the map, at what time in the map. But you're just going to rob yourself if you just get some good stuff, then get out and re-go in. Do you know what I'm saying? And all of the people that like you bump into each other in the middle of the map and you've both got great spawn battles and then it's the winner takes all situation. Oh my god, those moments are to live and die for in Tarkov. Those moments should be happening way more often, in my opinion. I do try and miss out on the transit cheeses myself, but wherever it's convenient and while it's in the game still, I might divulge myself. I might, you know, indulge a little bit and be like, yeah, I'll take a little transit cheese here and there. I am human. And I expect all of you out there to be human as well. But I want you to be respectful. I want you to be intelligent and honest and do your due diligence whilst replying and, you know, having a debate about this. Don't be like the people on X. If you want to troll, feel free to troll me on my X account. I'm probably going to divert all the people into this discussion off of X onto here. Anyway, that's the plan. At least, so I can have a nice discussion here with all you guys. Raiders, until the next hot take, well, actually, I can tell you what the next video might be. Tarkov's worst take. The Kappa container actually means nothing and is skillless? Well, this is one of the most brain-dead things that I've heard in a while. Maybe I'll make a video on about it. If you've got any sort of common sense, I think you'd know that that is a ridiculous thing to say, especially given the statistics around Kappa container. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, take it easy, and for now, continue having a great 2026, and I'll catch you in the next one.